I have many times heard the argument that technology has and will continue to make our lives better. Of course, it goes without saying that so many people believe this in the West. The idea that human innovation and higher technology will continue to improve life on planet Earth, and yet just about anyone who has been alive long enough for perspective will tell you that as technology has advanced, as more screens, speakers, devices, internet access was available to people in their homes, in their cars, and in their pockets, people in the West have done nothing but grow more bitter, distant, and generally more unhappy. People have gotten less friendly, less social, less tolerant, less motivated, more isolated, and more depressed. Less likely to aspire to goals and dreams, feel more defeated, and more disinterested in what is going on in the world. Despite it supposedly bringing us all together, connecting us with others, being a vehicle for social interaction, supposedly letting us leave drudgery behind and leaves us more time for pleasant things in life, despite technology supposedly making our lives easier, people seem legitimately more miserable as technology advances. People's happiness seems to not track with the advancement of technology, but seems almost inversely proportionate, at least in certain segments of society. So, why is that? Of course, many people argue this is only the effects of social media and a rapidly changing landscape in terms of work culture and industry, as technology replaces or reshapes entire segments of the economy and what the workforce looks like. But these things cannot be separated from the advancement of technology as a whole. Technology has not made life better, but simply allows us to do certain things more easily and more quickly. The underlying fallacy here is that it presupposes that doing actions more effortlessly leads to happiness. If you don't spend all day sending emails and filing papers, what will you do instead? If you're simply not doing one thing that is grievous, tedious, or harsh, does that mean you're necessarily happy? What happens down the line of this paradigm? What happens when all such work is entirely replaced by AI and no human any longer needs to do any labor of any kind? Who will the companies employ when no work needs done? How will you get paid? Will the captains of industry decide to pay people for doing nothing? Will universal basic income and global redistribution of wealth solve the issue? How will this be implemented, and how will anyone at the bottom have any say in what the titans of industry give up or do with their wealth? How will the people at the bottom have any say-so when they cannot even withhold their labor and go on strike using the one single solitary means of actual leverage that they have? How can anyone who is not in the most elite class of society have any power when there is nothing of value which they can bring to the table? The logic is flawed. At any point that we try to see that there is a net good that has been brought about, a serious problem emerges. As we string these pearls along, we find, as each one comes before us, that the next pearl is not so pretty as we thought. The grass is not greener. Technology has created as many problems as it solves. It's only a lateral movement, not upwards, as we're told. This paradigm is sold to us as technology making our lives easier, but in fact the only people that reap a true net benefit are the elites. Tedious work has not stopped. The economy is weakened, the dollar is down in value, the cost of living has rocketed up, and finding enough work to bridge that gap is by no means easy. The 40-hour work week has not stopped. In fact, since its implementation, people have only worked more and more hours for proportionally less pay. People are not happier, and people have less control over their own lives, and the people at the top have more control over everyone else's lives. The elites are the only ones not losing power and control to technology, and they're the only ones growing in power. They even tell us we'll own nothing and demand implicitly that we be happy with such a future. Technology has facilitated so much of this. Technology has made it so corporations and much larger entities still can track everything you do and think and sell you things based on it, manipulate your opinion, sell you narratives, guide what you think is going on in the world, and what you should think is important. This is all done through technology to a degree and on a scale that is not possible otherwise. Through technology, we rely more and more on these companies, their systems, their devices that they're trying to make impossible for us to repair and maintain ourselves. Many things are becoming impossible for the average person to repair. Many everyday things are increasingly difficult to do without some form of high technology, and so the question must be asked, has technology not become a trap rather than an apparatus of freedom? The key problem with thinking in this paradigm about technology eliminating work and how great that is that work is not bad. It is solely a matter of what we work for. Not just in terms of working for another human being at a soul-crushing corporate job, but what is the goal of what we're doing with the money that we make? What does our blood, sweat, and tears actually go towards? The idea of work has become so closely associated with punching a time card at a giant, faceless corporate company to earn a paycheck that it gets lost that things like maintaining your body and mind and property are also work. Providing for your family, however you do it, is work. Building something for yourself is work. Maintaining relationships is work. Having a family and building things around your family and the means to have a good life is itself work. These things are a far cry from what is so deeply etched into the modern mind as work. Even if we were to take away society itself from the equation, work is foundational to being human. Even if you were to procure food in the wild, it would still be work. The whole reason we have dopamine receptors is to incline us to do such work, that the reward might be secured. To work is to be human. To eliminate the work, therefore, is not the right idea, but to eliminate working for nothing, or working for empty, meaningless things at empty, soulless companies for those that barely see humans as humans and working just to survive and do nothing more. But instead, what we are soon to be receiving from this system in the near future is the elimination of work itself. And that means the elimination of the reward of that work, which in turn means losing control over what we do with our time and our life, and what we get out of it. Any benefit of convenience we get from technology cannot outweigh the evil of people losing purpose, direction, and control over their lives. It is absurd to even tacitly endorse such an idea. But what is the solution to this paradigm? Of course, it is hard to see in a practical sense that there is any solution. Technology has advanced to the point it has unimpeded, and it will by all means continue to do so till its inevitable end, whatever that might look like. But the best thing to do is to find purpose in spite of the attempts to make life purposeless, because whether we accept it or not, crushing our spirit is part of the purposelessness being perpetuated against us and thrown on us by this system. To eliminate purpose and meaning from art and music, to make it degenerate and banal, to move us further from aspiring to do good and meaningful things, and to only to appeal to our animalistic instincts of laziness and stripping more and more control of our lives, sold to us by promises of convenience and making life easier. You will be happy just as soon as the next technology is available. The grass is always greener. The endeavor that the chief architects of the new world are currently undertaking is to change the idea of work and reshape it, and ultimately make the world such that no matter how hard you work, you do not get the reward you're meant to get out of it. Of course, this is a sentiment I very often see shared on social media. Many people are convinced that such is already the world we live in. They have stripped any hope from these people, and this is the idea to defeat you in your mind and in your spirit. Thankfully, finding purpose is not dependent on their systems. We can choose to invest in things that bring purpose and to not buy into the lies about technology. Just as I said earlier, technology is a lateral movement. The goal is to not think along this plane, but along a vertical plane, finding purpose in human things, community, art, family, service to others, building things. Not to relinquish the upholding of these things to technology, to AI, to robots, like there's some burden to be cast off. When we cast these things off, we take on the chains of slavery to the technocracy. It is in the mind and in the soul that we are free or enslaved. Buying into all these ridiculous narratives is what truly ensnares the mind. Buying into a global system of control, surveillance, and mass media manipulation, and the idea about it being good for humanity, is selling oneself into a profound spiritual slavery to a system of extremely dark origin. As I pointed out in my last video, we are transitioning into a world of pure fiction, where people believe things are real based on systems that are entirely outside of their control. Artificial intelligence behind artificial humans, artificial opinions, artificial hype, poisoning the mass consciousness, where these opinions, ideas, and notions become manifest in real human beings. The ability to verify these things even being real will be lost in the future system. That's what people are abdicating for, a system that robs us of our work, of our lives, and is aiming to dismantle our sense of reality and purpose. Things seem on an incorrigible path of destruction. The wreckage of this machine is a mountain of obsolescence and a purposeless society, a throwaway society with disposable morals, hollow ideals, and nothing to work for. For so long, technology seemed like a good thing, but as power is consolidated through technology and the hands moving it push for more advantage over the general population, as well as over their corporate competitors, we're left to wonder how much room we have left to retreat into. The divide between rich and poor has never been greater, and the primary means of accelerating that divide is now technology. Worst of all, so many people are doing so many things that turn these cogs, doing so many things that empower this monstrosity of a machine without any coercion at all. They're doing it voluntarily and giving up so much control to this faceless system, not by force, but because they believe in it. This is the main point where the spiritual and practical elements of all this intersect. So much of growing income inequality, mass surveillance, and the distortion of reality through altered media is perpetuated by lies that people choose to believe. Systems that work towards placing leashes around their necks that they believe are good. After all, this is about belief. Everything is about belief. Everything is about having faith. If no one believes in the systems, they wouldn't participate in them. And if they didn't participate, the systems, the machines that seek to dismantle humanity, would have no fuel. But a majority of people will continue to believe in it. As I said earlier, technology will continue unimpeded, given a lift by the hot air of wishful thinking and belief in a system that will do nothing but strip us of purpose and life. And as much as technology has advanced and changed so much about how humans live, it has not changed humans. We need purpose and something to work for. In the end, the things that bring purpose are community, family, and God. All things that the current technocracy wish to quell. This is part of the reason that the continued advancement of technology has led to people generally being so displeased with modern life. Technology has not and will not make our lives better in any fundamental way. To resist this system is to resist the fallacious beliefs about how we improve our lives, and to believe in the things that have always made a human's life worth living, to believe in human goals and aspirations and work towards them.